Tonight on SmackDown Live AfterBuzz, we break down the first SmackDown-only roster and find out who the number one contender is for Dean Ambrose. So stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
The more I hear it, the catchier it's getting.
And it all went downhill from there.
Wow!
Sorry.
Well, that's a way to start the show, that we are live on AfterBuzzTV.com, the AfterBuzz TV YouTube page, liking and subscribing, telling your friends about the wonderful world of AfterBuzz TV.
It's a shoot!
Well,
It's a shoot, brother!
We're going to shoot all about the show tonight! What's up, everybody? I'm Christian Rosenberg. Follow the Twitter at Will Rosenberg, Instagram, The Will Rosenberg, the t-shirts, ProWrestlingTees.com/Christian Rosenberg. Got the regular gang with me this week. First off, sporting the SmackDown colors, even though it has another wrestling promotion on it. At Christy Reports, it's the lovely Christy Olson.
You guys know I'm all about the indies now.
You're an indie queen now.
Yay! My headphones are my crown.
There you go. And next to you, back, he was off last week during the draft, but we were glad he wasn't drafted to the XFL. At Curtain Jerks, it's Scott Narver.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, that's what your shirt says.
Yeah, that's what my shirt says.
Yeah.
I like it.
All our shirts say stuff.
Yay!
Hey, for words.
Those podcasters are missing out.
Yeah, for those of you listening, you can't read our shirts. So SmackDown is live officially with its own roster. We're there.
Yes, it happened. Finally.
And after what I personally felt was an awesome Battleground pay-per-view. I loved Battleground.
Yes.
And we all know how insane Raw was last night.
Mm-hmm.
I was stoked, ready to find out tonight on SmackDown. How are they going to try to top Raw?
Were you hyped?
I was hyped. I was very, very hyped.
Mm-hmm.
And I stayed hyped,
Were
too.
you here to show the world? Oh, what happened?
I was instructed by the producer to lower my chair a little bit for the camera.
Okay.
That's why I shrunk.
I thought it was a bit.
No, not yet.
We were getting ready. Oh, okay.
No, but go on. You show the world, or we're going to get back to the bit, or did the moment pass?
I was going to just go into other catchphrases of guys, and then how it just didn't live up to it.
Okay.
So it's all right.
By the way, we can't make Darren Young great anymore.
No.
He's on Raw.
Yeah, I think Raw could make Darren Young great again.
Oh, I do feel like Marquis and Johnny could kill that.
We'll have to find a new Masterpiece Theater type character. We'll get one over time.
Yeah, Kalisto will do promos.
He does lucha things.
Yep.
So SmackDown tonight. I like the way it started. We start with Shane and Dan O'Brien kind of in the gorilla position, and really kind of breaking down on what SmackDown is going to be about. And we head to the ring. There's no stage. It's all flat, which I like.
Which means lowriders could show up.
And you can fit more seats.
Mm-hmm.
True, more seats.
And while Monday Night Raw, they introduced all the wrestlers come out on the stage, it was like Stephanie and Mick in the ring introducing the superstars on the stage. This time, the superstars are already in the ring, and Dan O'Brien and Shane were going to them. Kind of a little message of, hey, it's about them, not us.
I was also curious to see where the announce table would be for SmackDown.
Yep, that stayed at ringside, which I prefer.
Which is a good move. Yes, dude, you got to tear it up and throw each other on it. I'm disappointed that that's not going to happen on Raw anymore, but we don't have to talk about it, so whatever.
So all the superstars are surrounding the ring. We have everyone. We have the new NXT call-ups. We got the big names. We got the names trying to become larger names. And, of course, then we get introduced to our WWE World Heavyweight Champion who stayed on SmackDown, Dean Ambrose. And we need to find out who his opponent will be at SummerSlam. And we find out that tonight there will be a six-pack challenge to determine his opponent. And the people competing in that six-pack challenge are John Cena, AJ Styles, Bray Wyatt, Baron Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, and the sixth person will be determined by a battle royal that apparently everyone is a part of. except the women around the ring and some of the tag teams, including Gable and Jordan and a few other people.
Right, and that's exactly how they put it.
Yeah, they kind of like, and this person, and
They cut the mic
And you
out
guys
during
can
that.
see who's left, and so they're probably going to be in there. We got the full rundown.
Yep. So we went straight into this battle royal. So I was excited because, okay, we're finding out who Ambro's going to face next. Fine. Battle royal determine one of those spots. Cool with that. What about the tag team division? What about, is there going to be a women's division?
Oh, just hold your horses. We got a 2-hour show that's live. We're going to get all these answers. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then we'll just go into the battle royal then. We'll get to that stuff later then.
Yeah, it's all there.
Okay, cool. So we'll talk more about that later.
Of course.
All right.
For sure.
Awesome.
All be addressed.
Good. So let's get into the battle royal then. First off, I loved the camera angle. I like that little angle from the side, much closer to the ring, and it was a little different. Mm-hmm. And I kind of dug it. It brought a different side of things, and you were able to catch a lot more stuff, to me at least.
We've got moving shots now, which kind of made me go, why was there never a jib there before?
Yeah, it gave a new perspective to the show that Raw has now, since it's Raw's style, like it's their style of what the show looks like. So switch it up. Yeah, give us different angles in a match. So when you have different highlight reels and promo packages, that we're going to see these different angles and stuff, and we can identify, oh, that's SmackDown.
Yep. Battle Royal is going through. We eventually get down to our final four, which is Kane, Kalisto.
And the Ascension.
No.
Oh, what?
No.
No, sorry, Scott.
Now, granted, heading into this Battle Royal, Scott's pick was Victor. My pick was Connor. We were both wrong.
We were both ripped off is what we were. This is a new era.
I want Ascension versus Ascension for the title.
That would have been a great team to split up. Because, like, Victor could definitely be used in the cruiserweights, and Connor could be, like, a badass big monster type guy.
I think you
they
mean...
could totally use, like, a revamping.
So you mean Reverend Connor? Because someone's got to be a Reverend when you do a brand split.
Or is he Deacon?
Who would be his Leviathan?
No, well, as you said, Deacon. It would be his Deacon.
Yeah.
Eric Rowan, of course. He already doesn't wear sleeves. So he's halfway there.
By the way, that mysterious voice that you're hearing is our buddy Jimbo in the booth at the Jimbo Slice. Hi, Jimbo.
Hi, guys.
Hey. I didn't properly introduce you, so I wanted to make sure I did that.
I'm here.
All right. So Final Four, Kane, Kalisto, Apollo Crews, and Zack Ryder.
Now, this is where it gets exciting.
This is when we realize it's live. That's what happens.
No retakes.
Oh, this got sloppy. Mm-hmm. This got really sloppy.
But exciting. It got really exciting.
Scott, you were the most excited out of the three of us at this point.
Yeah.
Because you were like watching NASCAR looking for a car crash.
Yeah. Because once it happens a little bit in wrestling, that's exciting. That is exciting to see. Because if it's all taped, it's all scripted, it's all like lame and boring, nothing's going to happen. But when something starts going wrong and you don't know what's going to happen then at that point, and guys are supposed to get eliminated or catch the rope or whatever it is, it's like, well, it seems there's a string of bad luck here. How's this all going to go down?
Well, one spot in particular, Zack Ryder, he tried to climb up to the top rope really quickly to hit his elbow, excuse me, and he slipped off and fell. It was a scary moment. Thankfully, he caught himself landing on his feet. But then he had that split second of, all right, land on my feet. Do I just jump and give an elbow now? Thankfully, he did not, and just went down and started pounding. I think it was Kalisto. Mm-hmm. But it was Kane being dominant, and then Apollo Crews eliminating Kane. So yes. Crews is the sixth man in that six-pack challenge, and my internet appears to be down, so I'm not able to follow chat roll at the moment, but maybe you guys can look. And I hope someone in chat roll somehow can find a stat at how many times Kane has been the runner-up in a battle royal, because he has to be the king of second place in battle royals and Royal Rumbles. He's finished like second in the Royal Rumble at least 2 or 3 times. He was second in the Andre Battle Royal. He was second in this one. He can't win a battle royal. He needs to study the game tape and figure out what goes wrong.
He needs to weigh down his boots.
Maybe
Put some
that's
ankle
it.
weights
He
on there.
needs to just write himself as the winner.
Well, I will say in the chat room right now is former guest of the show, Benjamin Royer.
Yeah,
And he
hey,
says,
Ben.
hello, Dad, in reference to you.
Get to bed.
Uh-oh.
It's too late for you to watch live.
But
You
do,
can watch
do
in
the
the-
math on that Kane thing first.
Watch in the morning while you're eating your Pop-Tarts before school.
So this was also a night of Apollo Crews flipping.
He did a lot of flips.
Because Kane went for the choke slam, and then he flipped up and over on that. And then as he Apollo Crews celebrated before he was interviewed by Renee Young at ringside, he flipped again.
And he did a standing moonsault during the Battle Royal as well.
And then later on in the match, in the six-pack challenge, there was another flip.
Yes. But Cruz told Renee he's not going to start celebrating until he wins six-pack challenge. So what do you call that damn backflip outside the ring after he won the match?
Look, he probably watches SmackDown before and remembered what Bob Backlund said, like, no, got to take this all seriously. So he stopped celebrating and then just slapped some fans' hands and celebrated.
What
Also, Bob Backlund made Apollo Crews less flippy.
Let's
Make
flip it
Apollo
again.
Crews less flippy for the first time.
Bob Backlund, like, all of a sudden, all these other, like, low mid-card guys should just act like they're taking Backlund's advice that he's given Darren Young. And just make Backlund a cross-brand teacher. A cross-brand life coach. This way we can have him and Scott can imitate him.
We would love that.
I want to have all my teeth still. I don't know how far I want to go with this.
Oh.
But you know, somebody who is not working both brands is Renee Young. And that was not announced during the draft. So I feel like she kind of got shafted on like the big N. Renee Young, and making a big deal out of her, is going to SmackDown. Like she kind of unceremoniously announced it on Twitter.
But then wouldn't Tom Phillips have gotten a big deal because he's on Raw?
Yeah, they both should have. Absolutely. They should have been treated the same way as the wrestlers. And also, her not saying a whole lot about it makes me speculate that maybe she's not incredibly happy about it. I don't know. If I were her, I would feel that that's a demotion. Although it is cool to see her ringside doing the post-match interviews.
I don't think she made a big deal about it because her role, like, and as well as Tom Phillips, their roles are not about them. So they couldn't be. They shouldn't be like, "Hey guys, catch me on this show." Even though obviously, yeah, they have fans and things like that, but they're there just simply to interview the guy, just like how JoJo wouldn't. Hey, I'm on Raw. You know, it's not for her per se. It's just like she's there to make the announcement for the other superstars.
Yeah, she's
Scott's
got her
laughing
own
at me
show
about
on
this.
the network, and I mean, they've treated her like a big deal in the past, regarded her as Renee Young. Now she's a personality on Total Divas. It just seemed lackluster for what she deserves. That's all I'm saying.
It's something that you acknowledge in the draft of who's going where. So if you are a fan, you go, oh, that's where I'm going to see her? Then I got to tune into that show.
Right.
I laughed because you said, I imagine JoJo starts off every Raw now going, hey, I'm JoJo. I'm on Raw.
From season 1 of Total Divas, weighing probably less than 100 pounds.
Well, we're gonna
It's
get.
Josanne.
Well, we're gonna get those little biographies of women in a little bit.
yes.
Oh, sure.
Look at that.
But apparently,
Yes.
this week's Believe That has something to do with one of the other
yes.
Battle Royal participants that was
yes.
there for a second. So, for those of you new to listening to AfterBuzz SmackDown because you decided, hey, now I'm going to tune in because SmackDown is live, welcome.
And thank you.
Where you been? And we do this little segment because Christy absolutely loves dirt sheets. If you could not tell by my fantastically designed t-shirt that you get at prowrestlingtees.com/Christian Rosenberg, I do not like them. But we let Christy find a story that she finds juicy enough to share every week, and Scott and I decide whether or not we think it's true. Therefore, grab your helmets, duck and cover. It's time for Believe That! You know, it's even hotter on Tuesday nights.
Yes.
Oh, jeez, look at that line.
I love
You
it.
like that? Did you like it?
Good line.
Did you like it?
I love it.
It just came off the top of my head. All right, Christy, what we got?
Oh, and the rumors are juicy too, gentlemen. Tell me how you feel about this. The next superstar to leave the company, another top superstar possibly saying sayonara. Del Rio. Apparently, Alberto Del Rio.
When do they say adios?
Not,
Thank you.
I don't actually know what language sayonara is, or if that's just a made-up word, so I can't answer that
Japanese.
Yeah, I was
question.
gonna say.
Okay, so yes.
Did you just say it's a made up? We're gonna get in so much
I'm sorry.
trouble now.
I'm sorry.
No, no,
I'm
no.
not.
I'm sure Vince
I'm
McMahon
not
named
incredibly
several tag
worldly.
teams Sayonara. And someone's like, no, you can't, Vince. Don't call him that.
Well,
Go on.
reportedly, Del Rio is unhappy with the way he's been booked since returning to the company, League of Nations, and he may request his release when his contract is up in October, or he could possibly even be part of some guys that are going to be cut before then. Reportedly, Triple H doesn't really think that Alberto Del Rio deserves the push that he's looking for because he's difficult to work with, and him being a top star might just make it worse. He's unhappy. They're not happy with him. You guys believe this? Alberto Del Rio is going to be gone soon?
So I just want to make sure that I understand. So, according to the reports, his contract ends in October.
Correct.
So he only signed a 1-year contract?
Yes.
That's unusual in itself.
I believe when he signed it, that was part of the news.
Yeah,
I remember hearing that before.
because usually they're 3-year contracts.
But maybe he asked for a lot of money, you know?
Yeah, true. And I mean, I can actually believe that. I don't believe that he would get released prior to the end of the contract. But here's a guy who's an insanely talented wrestler, and he's very underrated in that realm. But his character just doesn't really get over. And they tried to put him with Zeb. That worked swimmingly. Then they put the League of Nations. I forgot that existed until you mentioned it.
Uh-oh, are you going to get angry again?
I was so angry at that group. And now he's just kind of there. Last week he lost to Darren Young. Today he was a blip in a battle royal. I mean, he's at the same level on SmackDown right now as the Ascension. That's not good. No bueno.
No bueno.
Don't
I know
worry,
that's
Gato.
Spanish.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't want him to leave. I think there's definitely potential if they can set the right thing up. Bring back my boy Ricardo. Do something. He can get over again.
Careful, you're going to upset Benjamin Royer with that comment.
My boy Ricardo?
Yeah. How
That,
many boys you got?
I got a lot. I got a lot of kids.
You need a snip, buddy.
Sexy.
That was sexy?
Let me in.
Okay.
What's in there?
Just water today, fellas. Don't be worried.
But yeah, I don't want him to go because I really, really enjoy his ring work. But I can believe that when his contract's up, if they don't do something with him soon, he won't resign.
I totally believe it. Here's a guy who I believe is very has very high standards of what he's involved in. So he's worked with Cena, worked with Punk, went back when he was world champion,
Right.
and then when he went to Lucha Underground, they really catered to him and made a great character for him and gave great storylines because that's what their focus of the show is. They utilize everyone they have. WWE, it's spread out all over the place. Things change all the time. It's not as polished as what that can be because of all the time they have for production. So if he's seen that side of it and then came back and was promised all these things with money and championship runs and all that stuff didn't happen, I can see him having that standard and going, no, sayonara. So, yeah, I totally
He's
buy
very
it.
cultured.
Yes.
Very cultured, that guy. And yeah, his character, as you said, they started these things and nothing happened. It
Right.
was just it's like the NXT one note thing when they get on the main roster and they go, that's it, you're fine. When there's nothing else that happens and they're surprised, nothing, they don't get over, well, what do you expect? it's not on him. It's on the backing. So yeah, I could see him totally go.
I'm actually going to weigh in a little bit on this one myself.
What?
Because, the company hasn't been doing a whole lot with Paige either. We know that they're an item. They have been for quite a while. And I'm wondering if they're kind of getting each other riled up and getting each other in a negative headspace of like, oh, this company, they're not booking us. And I mean, I think it's easy to, like, get negative Nancy to, like, come ride with you. You know what I mean?
Paige is on Raw, right?
Paige is on Raw. See, we can barely even remember.
Well, just because we didn't see her this week.
Right, but we've barely seen her at all for months.
Right. But, I mean, you can't have everyone on every show every week. They have to build people.
They love each other. They have to be on the same show.
Duh.
Well, they're not.
They're going to split up. They're trying to split them up. They're causing a rift.
Actually, they did have some sort of... She deleted all of her photos on Instagram of him, like, last week, and it was in the midst of all this draft stuff. I think she wanted Del Rio...
Christy with the juice.
It's fine. We got time. I think she wanted Del Rio to, like, speak up for them and be like, put us on the same show. And he wouldn't do it, so she got mad at him and broke up with him and then deleted all the pictures from Instagram. Because then, like, a few days later, she was like, oh, I don't know how these got deleted. I'm going to repost them all with the captions.
And then made a mixtape of all her favorite sad songs.
Exactly.
And ate lots of chocolate. And then just cried to her friends.
Yes, because she's girly. She's not the anti-diva. Yes, now I got it in your head.
This is Matt Hardy, Edge, and Lita all over again.
Yes. Now, who is Paige hooking up with now? Let's just create a show completely
Zeb
false.
Coulter. She's with Zeb.
There it is. Write it, print it now. TMZ. Zeb Coulter. Homewrecker.
Oh, that was so fun, guys. You guys played along with me for once.
Do you think that he might not want to re-sign because he doesn't want to be involved with Total Divas at all? Like, he doesn't want, like, his behind the scenes and, like, personal life being aired out.
That's a fair guess too.
Because then you're really, like, at the whim of WWE.
For sure.
They're like, no, you're filming today. Divas cameras are coming to film you today, and he's like, no, today's my one day off. I'm spending it at my house. And they're like, perfect, we need B-roll. Like
now sit on the couch with your girlfriend and complain about how you're being booked. I love that.
That's a possibility too. I mean, there are different factors that would go into it for sure. Chrissy, you pretty much had all of us believe it this week.
Yeah.
All true.
Always.
All true.
You know what else is true?
What?
Someone is returning to SmackDown, and he has a standard made of gold.
And he got a huge intro. Massive pyro. Yes.
Big
Crowd
signing.
went nuts. He had a 30-minute match to... No, he's coming soon.
Oh.
Shelton Benjamin is returning.
Oh, do I believe that? I don't know. Shelton Benjamin's been doing a lot of stuff in Japan. I don't see why he'd really come to WWE, nonetheless SmackDown.
But the funny thing about that is that he's one of the only guys that there hasn't been speculation on coming back. I have read that nowhere at any point in the last 6 months since they've been talking about this brand split happening has his name ever been mentioned. So props to WWE for keeping it a secret.
Yeah.
Well, why did they debut tonight? If we're supposed to compete with Raw, we need big moments. Finn Balor debuts on Raw. It becomes a freaking #1 contender. Spoiler alert. Nia Jax debuts on Raw. Neville returns on Raw. Shelton Benjamin has a video.
Of old footage.
Jordan and Gable have a video.
Couldn't Shelton Benjamin have gotten on Tout and sent a 15-second video of like, hey guys...
Is that still around?
Of course, for Shelton Benjamin, they can start Tout back up. They can flip a switch.
Do you think there's something where he's contractually obligated to be somewhere else yet or do something else yet? I mean, maybe they really wanted him for tonight and somehow couldn't get him.
It seems like for a live show, if no one knows and you're gonna make the announcement, like, why not get a camera, do something live where it's Daniel Bryan and Shane talking like, we've just signed someone new, and it's just at least him going like, see you soon, guys, something like something different in that way.
Or, oh man, he just texted me back, he's gonna take it. Like something.
Yeah.
Make him feel like he's there and involved in some way.
Yeah, it's something different and fresh when they're trying so many new and different things.
Or like, oh, look what just popped on the WWE Instagram. It's a little like 15-second video of Benjamin saying I'm coming
It's
back.
those deleted photos of Paige and Alberto Del Rio.
No, we're past that now,
Oh,
Christy.
sorry. Okay.
Damn you, chat roll.
You guys are only going to tolerate that for like 5 minutes or so? Now we're
Like
done.
the restaurant industry, this is what we would call a comeback coupon, which is like you give them a little something now so that they come back next time. So like this was their way of being like, hey, don't forget SmackDown Live next week, Shelton Benjamin.
He's not next week. He's coming soon.
Well, hopefully soon is next week, because if he doesn't show up next week and they don't have a new video for him, or he doesn't cut like a via promo satellite via promo, then it's really like another ball drop.
I'm telling you right
It was
now,
the cotton candy and Saddle
I'll call it
Ranch.
right now. Based on this, he's not debuting until after SummerSlam.
I'll tell you this right now, too. Also, what happened is we dropped the ball because Charroll picked it up and ran with it.
What?
They are saying that they really missed the boat. They should have gotten Senior Benjamin for SmackDown.
Oh! Wrong Benjamin.
Yeah. It's all about the
You guys are
Benjamins.
so
Did
good.
anybody in the chat
What
roll?
if that's the storyline? Like they hired the wrong one-legged wrestler with Zach.
Yeah,
Allen.
Lauren
They
Ives.
hired the wrong Benjamin.
Did anyone in the chat roll do the math and figure out how many times Kane was the runner-up in a battle royal yet?
It seemed like it was between 6 and 8 was the...
I feel like there's got to be like a.
That would be 7.
I feel like there should be like another like 20 in there that we just don't have yet because I
Very
feel
well
like it's
could
all
be.
the time. Dolph Ziggler with a quick little promo and into the six-pack challenge, talking about how somewhere along the way I got lost. I let it
No,
slip
somebody
away
gave
once.
you the wrong directions. It wasn't your fault, Dolph.
But when that main event ends, it's with me taking my place at SummerSlam. And we're like, all right.
You're like, cute, but no, probably not.
Women's
wait for
action. Women's action. Becky versus Natalya. Rematch from Battleground. This was a long match. They gave them a lot of time. Mm-hmm. Felt like this was longer than the pay-per-view. And this show was 90 minutes shorter than the pay-per-view. Becky countered the sharpshooter into the disarmer, got the win, so now they're evened up at 1-1. Renee immediately hops in the ring
Yes.
to interview Becky.
Get in there, girl.
And as soon as Becky starts talking, she is interrupted by Alexa Bliss. And I'm like, yes, this is awesome. I love Alexa. This is going to be great. She comes out, she cuts a good, quick promo, introducing herself to the world.
No tutu.
Like an AA meeting. That's what it came off like.
But to be fair, I wasn't a fan of the fact that she's like, I'm Alexa Bliss.
Mm-hmm.
But her delivery, I thought, was very, very good.
Sure.
And she was able to display her attitude in that short time span.
You got who she was.
Right. She gets interrupted by Naomi. Cool.
Yes!
Naomi's back.
Yes.
Awesome. Naomi starts talking about, hey, Alexa, you can't say anything because you haven't proven anything yet in that ring. And then Naomi is interrupted by Carmella. Sweet. The other NXT female talent that's on SmackDown. And Carmella was terrified. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. She couldn't say her catchphrase. What happened?
She walked out like the Tin Man who needed oil.
I felt so bad.
Well,
What happened?
I mean, for a long time, she had Enzo and Cass with her, and
She hasn't had them in months, though.
yeah, but just at NXT. I mean, the main roster in that kind of an arena is a whole different ball game. I can understand how it would be overwhelming.
Well, no,
and I'm gonna give her another chance.
No, I get the nerve. She'll be fine.
Right.
But you only have one debut, one first impression. You gotta be ready for these things. And I felt bad. Like I wasn't sold on it.
I felt bummed that for them on the big stage that these newer characters got, 2 sentences out and then they're interrupted. Like
Right.
they really didn't get to say a little bit more and say whatever you're going to say and then when you're done you get interrupted.
Mm-hmm.
And Carmella's then interrupted by Eva Marie. Well, she wasn't interrupted by Eva. She was interrupted by Eva's hired voiceover artist who gives a long list of adjectives to describe Eva as Eva just kind of not prancing, she just kind of slowly walked back and forth while this ominous voice was describing her. And we go to commercial. Nothing happened.
It seemed like something out of Nitro back in the day. Like the segment was was very oddly produced, and it seemed like not everybody was on board. And it seems so simple that if you're gonna have this women's division all coming at each other, like, let them talk, let them go out there, or at least if you did a dry run that day, and like, I want you all to say these things. Well, that doesn't work. Run out there and punch each other in the face then.
And then I was all ready for either Shane or Dan O'Brien to come out and be like, hey, here's the deal. We have all these women here. We're going to start a tournament starting next week or something. We're bringing back the Divas title. I don't care what it was. Whatever.
Yes, I was positive we were going to get an additional women's title tonight.
But we had Becky, Natalya, Alexa, Naomi. We had 6 women out there. No talk about any feuds. No talk about a title. They all just came out to introduce themselves to the Tuesday night crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't blame the ladies. I blame
it's not their fault at all.
The person that put this together, because that did not showcase any of them well, except for the match that Becky and Natalya had.
Yeah, they had a great match. I personally I like their Battleground match better than this one, but this was definitely a great match. I mean, 2 of them are great all the time. Baron Corbin promo. I'm winning this match for me. That was his promo.
This guy.
We then go from that to Miz TV, and we're all kind of wondering who's Miz's guest is going to be, because we're like, we already have the 6 people for the 6-pack challenge. We had everyone else in the Battle Royal. I'm like, unless he's bringing Jordan and Gable out, they must be debuting somebody, because I have no idea who his guest would be. And neither did they, because his guest was himself.
That was a surprise.
True.
Yeah,
didn't expect it.
Mm-hmm.
I expected.
He had David Otunga out there. Could have talked to him.
JBL.
What's going on with you?
Yeah. I interview Morrow. What's it like sitting next to JBL now?
Yeah.
Is he loud?
Does David Otunga share his coffee?
Do you feel more cramped in that table with Otunga's biceps?
Yeah. All perfectly valid questions.
Yeah. But no, his guest was himself. And then he eventually gets interrupted by Randy Orton. So we have Highlight Reel Part 2. Orton cuts the same promo that he did on Sunday. He says he's going to bring Lesnar to Viperville. Mm-hmm. I mean, he said the same damn thing.
Well, without the really funny stuff in there.
That's true.
About no enhancement needed.
Yeah, that was good.
They're only going to let him say that one time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Orton challenged The Miz for him to help brush the rust off. And it certainly looked at first like he had some rust, because Miz was dominating this match, and we thought Orton died because he got thrown out of the ring and his foot caught on that rope and he fell right on his shoulder. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, Miz continued to work the shoulder, so we knew, thankfully, it wasn't legitimately injured.
However, the string of expletives that had to be blanked out led me to believe that maybe at least he got a little stinger or something.
Yeah, because the way he fell, I honestly, as soon as he fell, I'm like, match is off. I'm like, Lesnar is off now, because he just re-injured his shoulder. Thankfully, at least to what we saw, he is okay.
Ooh, we could get real conspiracy theory and say they actually don't want that Lesnar-Orton match to happen now because of the stuff with Brock Lesnar. And so they're going to fake some kind of, Orton's injured again.
But then you got to give Lesnar another opponent.
But if we were going to conspiracy theorize... Well, yeah, but I'm saying maybe if they're trying to not do the Brock Lesnar match.
Mm. Or maybe they realize, wait, Lesnar's on Raw, Orton's on SmackDown. This makes no sense.
Or that.
Yeah, that's what really hangs it up. Like, this makes no sense. They're on 2 totally different shows. What have we done? This is silly. Scrap it all.
Orton hits an RKO on Miz, then just sits there for literally 2 minutes while Miz is not moving. Miz could have been pinned by everyone in the locker room. They all could have lined up and went into the ring and pinned the Miz before he got back on his feet. Mm-hmm. And then got another RKO, and Orton pinned him then. Yeah, the RKO. Yeah, you want to sell how devastating the RKO is. But people get up from the F5 a lot faster than they did from that RKO.
Well, they see the F5 coming. The RKO comes out of nowhere.
I know that's what it says on his shirt.
Yeah.
Actually, it says hashtag out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Wow. We going there now? We correcting me?
I mean, you want people to know what's on your T-shirts, right?
Yeah, because they are gold. It's not. It's not literally gold.
Yeah, it's like the tag team belts. They're not
You
made
can probably
out of
get
gold.
it in gold, right? Isn't that what Pro Wrestling Tees does?
I mean, my T-shirts are in black right now, but I can adjust the color if enough people really want a gold shirt. I guess I can make one.
Oh, someone was wearing one of your shirts in the audience at Battleground.
Shout out to
correct?
AJ0314 who's in our chat like every week.
Oh, yeah.
Huge
Nice,
fan. He sported one of my shirts, and you saw him all through Battleground.
And he rocked a Fox Compadres sign as well.
I saw
Oh,
that
did he?
too.
Awesome.
So it was the best of both worlds.
Very cool. So we then get a video package of Jordan and Gable that they're debuting next week, even though we saw them around the ring during the whole promo. But Scott, there's still enough time to bring up the tag team division and everything, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're gonna revisit what happened with all the women too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so we're still getting those announcements tonight, right?
It's live.
Because we're running. It seems like we're running out of time.
Anything can happen.
Okay.
Raw goes over by like 15 minutes
All
sometimes.
right, I believe,
Yeah,
I
take
believe you,
that,
Scott.
Suits.
I believe you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Okay.
There's time.
Well,
Just
there-
take it easy, psych.
that show's been off the air for God, how long?
They
now?
love
Yeah, but
one-word
that's the time of
shows.
night where they
Cleo
probably do the
died today.
reruns.
What was that?
I said, speaking of psychics, Miss Cleo died today.
She did. She was only like
R.I.P.
63.
She's going in the WWE Hall of Fame?
She in Celebrity Wing?
Probably.
It could happen.
Sure. Sure. I'm
That broke him. That's what finally broke Christian.
because I feel so bad because I want to use the line. She should have saw this coming, but that's so wrong.
It came out of nowhere like an RKO.
Oh,
Oh.
I'm going to hell.
We are mildly crass today.
There's some guy in the ring. We have no idea who it is.
And we never got a good look at him.
We never got a name. But Heath Slater comes in and kicks his ass.
Yeah, he does.
He got aggressive. And Heath Slater on the mic. He is pissed he was not drafted. And he is the most coveted free agent that WWE can get. Shane comes out and be like, you should like send in a resume. You shouldn't interrupt the show. And Heath Slater goes,
Sign a resume.
sign a resume.
resume.
Send a resume. Maybe this will be a new thing. I'll be Shane, you'll be Heath Slater. If they continue doing this.
Sure.
But-
I mean, technically, you should really be Heath Slater because of the hair, but, you know.
But I think
whatever.
Scott can do the voice better.
Who's to say?
I don't know. But honestly, this was my favorite segment of the entire night. Because Heath Slater showed aggression. He got mic time. He got the crowd behind him. He brought through his entire career to Shane. He's like, do you not remember? I was in Nexus. I was in the Core. I was the one-man band, 3MB, the Social Outcast. I'm a former 3-time tag team champion. I have the resume. You can watch it on the network.
We aren't talking about Rhino yet, Marvin. Chill. Continue.
Well, thanks for just completely spoiling what we were doing.
Yeah, on an
Because
after
Slater
show.
gets gored by
We're
Rhino.
being accused of not knowing who Rhino is.
Well, this person-
by our live chatters. So I just wanted to
maybe the
clarify.
chatters can listen as the show goes on, so we can get to the point where those guys show up.
Marvin.
Because then Rhino shows up and gores Slater.
Oh, he
And-
thinks we're talking about we don't know the jobber's name.
Yeah,
That's what we
that's
don't
what I'm
know.
saying.
Oh, jeez, Marvin.
I know.
Okay.
See, we don't want to lose our credibility. We
Yeah.
have to address that.
We're not losing our credibility. Marvin, you just gotta listen a little better, buddy. Thanks.
Is he also your boy?
Yeah, he's my boy too.
Okay.
They're all my boy. They're all my boys.
Yes, jobber no neck gets this
Guy got crushed by Heath Slater, then Rhino gored Heath Slater.
Yes,
we know who Rhino is.
Rhino comes out from the little people's court from under the ring.
And he's that young up and comer from NXT.
Yeah. And yes, Rhino destroys, and Shane was very excited to see this because, you know, he just signed Shelton Benjamin
and Rhino.
Yeah.
And he's Rainbow Rhino now.
Yeah, so we're talking about the future and signing guys from 2006.
And the guy who destroyed the first SmackDown set.
He did.
I was there for that.
Ooh.
That was one of I thought that was one of the coolest moments when he gored Jericho through the set.
Yes, and it was really unexpected because when you're there, you're like, oh, the set just fell down. Oh, you know, it was crazy.
Yeah.
It was a cool moment. So, yeah, look out, SmackDown set. Hey, Slater and Rhino are coming for you.
He didn't think you guys knew the Rhino's name, but Rhino's name was blasted all over his chest.
I don't know.
We do watch on a fairly small screen.
I think we're aware of who Rhino is. We don't know who the guy Heath Slater beat up is. Can someone in the chat room maybe tell us who was the guy that Heath Slater beat up?
Oh, it'll be on the dirt sheets tomorrow. I'll let you know.
Okay, I don't know if I can believe it though.
Yeah, Ryan Phillips, I'm in total agreement with you because he said the jobber looked like James Storm. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he looked like a deflated
For
James
like a
Storm.
sec, we were like,
Storm
what?
and Adam
No.
Cole had a baby.
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh, Adam Cole's baby. That's who it was.
That's my boy.
He's always talking about his baby.
No, Adam Cole's baby is my boy.
Oh.
Everyone's my boy.
Oh, boy.
Ooh, drama.
Scientifically weird.
Yeah.
That's how I roll.
All right.
I like to be scientifically weird.
And Marvin has not said anything since.
No.
I'm sorry, Marvin. I'm sorry.
Oh, we are not being a star.
You just got gored, Marvin. You got gored.
You got gored by that jobber who was in there with Heath Slater.
Yeah.
AJ Styles promo.
Dylan Matthews says the jobber's name is Marvin. I like
now
you,
the
Marvin.
entire chat. I'm sorry, Marvin. Now the
Picking
entire
on
chat
our
room's
live
trolling
fans
me.
is going to be great for
Marvin.
the new SmackDown.
SmackDown Live after, it's gonna be awesome.
Marvin, I don't love you. I like you. I like you.
Don't delete the pictures of us from your Instagram.
So AJ is complaining that he got separated from the club, and complaining that he's in a number one contenders match.
I mean, he's justified.
Seth Rollins, just to get he is the number one contender. He didn't have to do anything else. AJ Styles deserves the same thing. I see what he's saying.
Mm-hmm. True that.
But Seth Rollins was number one overall pick and was not pinned in that triple threat match.
Nor was AJ Styles.
But AJ Styles was not the number one pick.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I see your point.
Yeah.
Sure.
Shut it down, Marvin.
Bray Wyatt cuts a promo. The main highlights are he says, "I'm here, not we're here." So I don't know if Rowan's just not even affiliated with Bray now, even though both of them are on SmackDown. But then Bray can't blow out the damn lantern. Like, there were so many odd things that all these years I've wanted SmackDown to be live so badly. Now it's live. Like, oh, why did these things happen? And like it looked like he almost blew it out of his hands. Mm-hmm. Almost looked like he dropped it and it didn't turn off or blow out or whatever he does with it. 6-pack challenge match. Great match. This match was a lot of fun to watch. Everyone had their moments. Referee John Cone, he took a hard fall when Bray pulled him out of the ring. Like, he fell really hard.
Yeah.
And showed some skin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a little ankle there.
Yeah. Got a little shin action.
I'm sure the vaudevillians were very upset.
They hid their eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, they were so appalled they were the first ones eliminated from the Battle Royal.
Mm-hmm.
They were eliminated before the Ascension. Crazy finish. Everyone's getting the moves. Cena's AAing everybody. And then AJ flies in with a phenomenal forearm, knocks Cena out of the ring. He turns into a super kick by Ziggler. And Ziggler, Dolph Ziggler, as in, like, that guy who has not won a big match in a long time, Dolph Ziggler, is the number one contender for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship against Dean Ambrose at SummerSlam.
Wait, you mean Dolph Ziggler, the guy that last time he was the world champion was when they had 2 title belts, is now a contender again? When they have 2 world titles again?
You know what? Yes.
Who'da thunk it?
You guys are just having a hard time because he's not bleachy blonde anymore.
I have no idea.
This is that guy.
I was so confused at who he was. And then we have a stare down with Ambrose and Ziggler. And then Daniel Bryan shows up. And then Shane shows up. And then they play Ziggler's music again. Mind you, they played Daniel Bryan's music and Shane's music. Mind you, the other 5 competitors are still sitting around the ring. And then it goes off the air.
It's all about the superstars.
We went... That ending after the match went at least 5 minutes. Are you telling me you couldn't get a Jordan Gable versus 2 jobbers named Marvin match in there?
I don't know. This was a very, very, very odd show for the first one, not being centered around the draft. This is the first SmackDown Live with the roster, and everything's in place, and everyone's going to watch. And like you said about first impressions, this is the one that sets that bar.
Mm-hmm. And you had such an incredible Raw, and then you're going with this.
It's almost as if they looked at last week's SmackDown and this week's Raw as sort of needing to be equal or something, and then forgot about, oh, well, the actual first episode of SmackDown Live has to have some crazy stuff too.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing that because SmackDown definitely had it. Don't get me wrong, it had its fun moments tonight.
That Heath Slater Rhino segment was super
loved
fun.
I love that, and I loved the 6-pack match. I thought that was great. This entire show, SummerSlam's in 4 weeks. We now know Ambrose is facing Ziggler. We have absolutely not necessarily other matches announced. We don't have a clue as to who's feuding with who.
Yeah.
No stories escalated at all.
That's what you said when we were watching, and that's the best point that I think was made, that you said there was no storylines that have progressed, and all these longer matches that we got wrestling.
Yes, we did.
We finally did, but yeah, there was nothing was established in that wrestling.
We got, you promised me they'd have the tag titles and the women's title stuff, and
yeah, just stay tuned.
Oh, it's still going?
Yeah.
Oh. Well,
keep watching.
So we don't have anything with those. Miz faced a guy who already has a match at SummerSlam, and we don't know who Miz's opponent's going to be yet for the Intercontinental title. And we had a 6-pack challenge, and there wasn't really any hints at feud start. They could still do, the rubber match with Cena and AJ, because that feud isn't over yet. But, there could have been a moment in 6-pack challenge where, say, Corbin and Cruz just have this moment, and they start brawling up the stage, brawl to the back, and all of a sudden both of them are out of the match because they can't stand each other or something. And okay, now we got that. There was none of that tonight. And now we go 3 weeks away because they're not building anything up for this on Raw Monday. You only get one show for this now. And now you got to come up with a few other matches, because Raw was insane and SmackDown was eh.
I'm just bummed because I feel like Raw is such an established live show that people are going to watch no matter what. Mm-hmm. It's got its own identity, and it further established one by saying, like, oh, well, screw SmackDown and screw their title, we're going to make our own, and had such high stakes with everything that happened of establishing the new title and the new competitors for that title. SmackDown has been struggling to find an identity for so long, and to try and get these people who maybe watched casually before or didn't watch at all, to get them to start watching. And I feel like they didn't do a strong enough job of identifying themselves to the casual viewer that may not come back. So the diehards, yeah, we're going to watch. Mm-hmm. We're going to watch no matter what. But the casual viewer may go, oh, no, I'll just watch Raw. So they lost them, is what I feel.
Yeah. Like we were saying, the first impression. And we have the WWE champion. We know who he's facing now. Mm-hmm. Now, we're not quite sure. Okay, we've seen these two wrestle a lot. Is this going to be kind of a way for Ziggler to turn heel, which could be interesting? Mm-hmm. We don't have any other feuds. we never really debuted any of the fresh faces, the Jordan and Gable, we had Carmella and Alexa show up, but they just talked for 5 seconds. So we didn't have the fresh faces. We got revisited guys from 10 years ago who, don't get me wrong, are still very, very, very talented and are going to put on great matches. Mm-hmm. But it felt very empty. Especially, to me, it felt like one of those things where, all right, Raw ends, now SmackDown. If we're doing this whole story of which show's going to be better, SmackDown, all right, this is what we got to do. We got to compete with this. Dean Ambrose, you're defending the title tonight in the main event. Mm-hmm. We're going to debut this or whatever. You're going to try to do your best to compete with it. To me, they're just like, wow, that was really good. Let's just do something. Let's just.
Or like, well, we can't do any of the same stuff. We can't have any big debuts. We can't have a title change. So what do we do?
Why not?
Well, I'm just saying, perhaps that's what they thought.
Right. But and think about it. In this crazy whirlwind of 3 days between Battleground, Raw, and SmackDown, I think only one title changed hands.
Correct.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's not like all of a sudden, if you had another title change hands tonight, now everything's changed and everything's going crazy. No, that's not happening at all. So,
Chat Roll's not having it. They're saying we're too negative.
Are they really?
They are really laying into it. So good.
I'm glad they enjoyed it.
I said, I addressed it. It's it's a mixed bag. We give our opinions. We're being honest.
Yeah.
It was tough because we want to really like the show. I felt in the months leading up to this, they were having a really strong show.
They were.
And I feel
and
like
we were getting feedback from the fans that we were being too complimentary and only complimentary.
Yeah, so it's tough. Like
that last week.
What do you want us to lie and just go like everything's the best ever? But sometimes we offer criticism of what we feel. So.
And you guys, we want it to be good. I would have loved to come in here tonight and be like, oh my God, SmackDown blew Raw out of the water, and this is the best show that's ever happened. And we're not trying to be negative.
No, because there were some things that we liked a lot on the show. And there were some things that surprised us that didn't happen. Now, they still got 3 more shows before SummerSlam, so we'll see how they pick it up. And we want to continue talking with you guys, whether it's on the YouTube page or various forms of social media, because we like to chat with you guys about what we think and what you think and whether or not we agree or disagree with each other.
It's wrestling.
It's wrestling.
We boo and cheer. That's what it is.
And sometimes chant and say hi to Marvin. But in the meantime, Christy, how can people chat to you?
I feel sad now that they're mad at us.
Calm down.
I'm sorry.
Live life as a heel.
Tweet me, Instagram, and Snapchat at Christy Reports. Please also check me out on West Coast Wrestling Connection and Pacific Coast Wrestling, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Christy Reports.
Scott Narver.
Have your own voice. Say what you believe and just live it. Follow me on Twitter.
That was deep.
Follow me on Twitter at Curtain Jerks. You can listen to my comedy wrestling podcast, Curtain Jerks, available on iTunes and SoundCloud, where nothing is serious on there, I assure you. And also for everything not serious, youtube.com/onyourmarkshow, the funniest shoot interviews you'll ever see, where again, nothing is serious and you can just have a laugh.
There you go. And follow me on Twitter at Real Rosenberg, Instagram, the Real Rosenberg. T-shirts. Buy T-shirts, please. ProWrestlingTees.com/Christian Rosenberg. And for all your other AfterBuzz TV news and gossip, follow them on Twitter at AfterBuzz TV. And follow our producer Jimbo on Twitter at TheJimboSlice. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. For Christy Olson and Scott Narver, I'm Christian Rosenberg. We will see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.